Welcome. I have on side with me, Joshua Holotu. Second video for the day. Na yebedin komo transfers home komo sports conversations, football news. I'm bringing you the very latest right here on side. Na answer na yebedi sound komo no guys. If you have just tuned in, if you have just clicked on this link, and you are a new viewer, you are new to this channel, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for choosing this analysis. And I promise you to give you nothing but the best. The transfer market in the world of sports, season number starts yet. La Liga starts tomorrow. The English Premier League starts in a week's time. We'll be giving you all the analysis on the games for everything that's going to be happening in the English Premier League this season. Your best bet is here on site with me, and I'll give you all those stories. If you're a returning viewer as well, Nyami Shao, thank you so much for coming back. And if you've not subscribed, wait for 1 minute. Just pause for 1 minute. Do me a favor. Look below the video. Ubehun subscribe button be was your miaso. Now, miaso yeah. Bell notification icon on Israel, just tap on it. Ubehun all. I was sure. Click on the all. Debia semi drop a video. You'll be one of the first people to see the video. And we can have some conversations about football, the game we love. Now, earlier today, maybe catch so Manchester City had an ultimatum of 5 p.m. to submit a bid of £120 million for Branty Enzo Fernandez to get the player from Chelsea, not only that kind Emma Manchester City. But guess what? 5 p.m. Man City could not submit a new bid. And now, of course, they submitted a bid of £102.5 million, but that fell short of the valuation of the player. Chelsea, a castle for £120 million. City didn't meet that necessarily, right? Into Chelsea for Nankasa, they didn't even budge. And today, the deadline was 5 p.m. Now, this has changed the dynamic of transfers, and I'll be telling you why all of those things happen. But aside that, Tammy Abraham is in the news. Possible transfer. I'll tell you where he could potentially be going. As well as Abrante Fernandez, Gabriel Martinelli, Branty Osinakan, Emma Arsenal. I'll tell you what he has just said. Then we also have stories from Cody Gakpo, Eni Savinho. Potentially, they are moving. I'll tell you where they are moving. But before we do that, guys, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Nayendi Sound Commando. Let's go straight into the stories. Enzo Fernandez, guys. You see, I've always said this, that Xabi Alonso, no, Obeji Chelsea, Jumani, he had a certain vision on his mind. And that vision, no, to roll out the vision, you need to be very calculative. You need to take your time. You need to do things the right way. And Sawasha, preseason throughout, players on Omudin Komobi, right? Some of them are expressing their commitments to Chelsea's project. And I like that. You cannot get every player to declare confidently how they feel about a certain project and whether they want to stay at a club or not. But players like Cole Palmer, Moise Caicedo, as well as Reece James, we know for sure, all Chelsea fans know the stance of these three players about Senor Musi Chelsea project and how they want to dedicate their life to that project. But when it has to do with Enzo Fernandez, his own is a bittersweet kind of feeling. Enzo Fernandez, one of the players who has been a standout performer for Chelsea in the last 3 seasons, he's one of them. Anytime he's playing, you can see the dedication or the ball on him. So he's never in doubt. But at the same time, I don't know if it's because of the Argentine blood, he's quite controversial. In times past, he has had to come out verbally, criticizing certain things that have happened on the pitch. Chelsea, PSG, a boy last season, at the Parc des Princes, there are certain things that happened in that game. He was not happy. And he vocalized it. He came out to speak about it. Adebia Okudi Nkomose Onyabeko Real Madrid. You are contracted to Chelsea, but no, this sound Komono Ewa Bonting. People were not happy with it. He had to come and apologize. That even after the apology, he still dedicated himself. Anytime Enzo Fernandez is playing, you see that it is there. So his own has been on and off. And with all sound Komona Ekosuno, I know that Xabi Alonso, after Obeji Edmani, he has been watching with just one side of his eye. Most importantly, at the FIFA World Cup, you saw his behavior. He was endorsing that, That banner that was raised about the Falklands Islands in that game against England, there were conversations, said Ansha, they'll revoke his UK visa. So all of these things were there. But you see, Xabi Alonso is a smart manager. So he knows that potentially this player, after it had come out, say it could be possible, say Enzo Maresca, his former manager, would try and lure him to come and play for him at Manchester City. No? Maybe in consultation with him, Penyufono, or Bernard say, okay, do you know what? We know the relationship between these two. So, if indeed Rodri Hernandez Cascante is a potential move away from City to Barcelona, and City themselves know that there'll be a void that needs to be filled, and this is the potential player that they want to use to fill that void, let's give them an ultimatum. If they are serious about Enzo Fernandez, they should bring the 120 million pounds. He will go. But if he doesn't go, because 24 hours or 48 hours, whatever it was an ultimatum. If he doesn't go and he stays, Xabi Alonso will have a way will whip the boy in line, and he'll get him to adapt in his setup, and he'll play. So that is what is playing out now. And I'll tell you the cascading effects of this particular scenario. Because Biana player and any agents, no, they also played a role in trying to get the player to move from Chelsea to Tammy Abraham and Manchester City. Until after that, Real Madrid influence had died off, right? And after still having certain issues, which I think he must have ironed out. And after the World Cup in Sembebre, Efri Mubaya, now it looks like there's no certainty about the boy's future. These are the things that Xabi Alonso can do to be able to find a way to get the player to be settled in his mind about what he really wants to do. Until now, no Samasha. Tomorrow there will be a press conference. Chelsea will be playing Real Sociedad preseason game. We'll get a lot of information from that press conference, and we'll know what the stance of the player is. Because according to what we are learning, Chelsea for no Manchester City for no, from May till now, to complete that deal, Chelsea bought Enzo Fernandez for at least 107. It was 105, but I think there were add-ons, 107 million pounds. I can assume that Enzo Fernandez's price tag now is not 120 million pounds. It should be more than that. But Chelsea are trying to be smart, so they put 120 on him. Okay, if you have the money, bring him. We are not short of options. We'll go into the market, we'll get replacements. And maybe sound common. But for Man City, they cannot easily just bring that money and come and pick Enzo Fernandez. They have the money. It's not about the lack of the money. They have it. They even sold Tiani Reinders not so long ago. But the catch is that Rodri Hernandez Cascante's move is paramount to this completion of this deal. Inka Rodri enya se ofio there and then no pay and able to just say that new bidder as soon as that new bid, if it had been accepted by Manchester City, at least it clears the way for the introduction of a brand friend Enzo Fernandez into the team. But City have already spent 116 million on a brand friend Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest. They're about to splash the cash on a brand friend Ayub Buadi from Lille Metropole. So if Enzo Fernandez, if the player you're going to replace has not left in Rodri Cascante Hernandez, how then do you move and go enjoy it? Because now, if Rodri stays and he plays that final 1 year on his contract and leaves as a free agent, it means you may not fully settle into that team. Ayub Buadi is younger. Ayub Buadi has a longer time to play for Man City. Elliot Anderson has a longer time to play for Man City. But Enzo Fernandez, yes, you have the experience, you have the pedigree, but your role is to directly come and replace Abranti Efrene Rodrigo Cascante. So if Man City don't sanction that sale, it's difficult to see how Enzo Fernandez enters that team and comfortably goes into the first 11 and plays. It wouldn't be that easy for Enzo Maresca to do because he has just come to Man City. There are certain things you can't jump the gun necessarily. I don't know the contract he has with Man City though, but the control and the demand, no. Yes, it may be there, but he may not be able to dictate exactly how things must be done in the transfer window. Otherwise, I have no doubt in my mind. Say, City would have brought that money, they would have come to pick Enzo Fernandez and you go and play. So what will happen now is that if the deal is off the table, it means that the verbal agreement of 120 is off. Chelsea can either increase it or decide to lower the price. But now, no, even if that Rodri deal goes through, City, if they come back to Chelsea, Chelsea has every right to decline and ask them to go back. Because can we hear player now, you would have come for him. Number two, if now Xabi Alonso decides that, look, Enzo Fernandez, but Nkasa, this is what I want you to do for me this particular season. You are still on contract with Chelsea, a long-term contract. If the right price doesn't come for you, we don't move you. And we now decide whether we will sell you or not. Because Sikana, the Casa City from Rani, they didn't bring it. So now, you stay with me, I tell you what to do, you need to do it. And there, we will have to see how Enzo Fernandez will react. Whether he'll be dedicated to the project. Whether he will say that, okay, master, Matilde, how can I say, I will play. We have to see how that will go. Until at a press conference, we are waiting to see how things would shape up. And Enzo Fernandez, come on. Yeah. I honestly didn't even expect Man City to bring that money. People thought, Man City have the money. Forget City. Savinho is on his way out. He's on his way out. So, if it has to do with balancing the books, they didn't have a problem. Tijani Reines is out. He's gone. So, the problem was not about money. It was about knowing how to play the trick. And Xabi Alonso played the trick better. So I'm waiting to see what you say tomorrow and I'll bring you the updates on that. Guys, Tammy Abraham, potential move from team my friend Aston Villa to Nottingham Forest. Latest news coming in just this evening. And yeah, I've already said, when you look at this particular transfer market, so many things are happening and yeah, sometimes it takes a lot of time before certain stories shape up in the news itself. Most of the time it's speculation. You see, and you're official. But as we speak right now, no, there's a huge possibility that Nottingham Forest would consider to move for Tammy Abraham. Tammy Abraham joined Aston Villa from team my friend Besiktas, that's in Turkey, for £18.2 million. And since he's come, no, he has scored only 3 goals in 16 appearances. Tammy Abraham is not a bad player. I remember the time Nana watched Chelsea, he looked like a player who, if given time, he could develop his potential and become a top leading marksman. But I don't think his career is over. If Nottingham Forest will give him a clear identity of what he needs to do, Oliver Glasner and Crawford, I think he may go there and he will make his mark. Because he needs a lot of stability right now. I don't think that stability is under Unai Emery at Aston Villa. Aston Villa themselves are going into Europe and they will need squad depth. Into Tammy Abraham, or I didn't have a problem. But the point is, does the coach really have him in mind? Is he the fit? Would he get enough playing time? If he's guaranteed of that, Aston Villa, no problem, he can stay. But Tammy Abraham, I know, he needs to be consistent and play frequently to get into his groove. So that is my opinion about Abrantiano. Nottingham Forest, at this point, they are splashing the cash. Because Sikana Bakakra, Sikana Bedio Mohakakra, after the sale of Elliot Anderson, Sika Bedio Munchenkakra. So I think that going out to Spain is not a problem for them. Because is Oliver Glasner going to utilize the player in a specific way that will get the best out of him? That could be the question. So it could be down to the player's own choice and preference. But I think Tammy Abraham needs to remain at Aston Villa, find his feet and then gel well with that team. But if he decides to go to Nottingham Forest, it wouldn't be a bad choice after all. This would not be the first time Abraham enabled Premier League, so adaptation shouldn't be difficult. But at Aston Villa, he was guaranteed of some competitiveness that will bring the best out of him. Nottingham Forest, no, I don't see them as a team that really wants to compete Evangelos Marinakis just takes certain decisions on impulse and not treat him the way they are not really pulling up for a team that had 4 managers last season alone. They don't seem so serious. So I would have advised the player not to move. On Aston Villa on one ball, and I think it could have worked out for him. In Tianusu, they free Abrante Nassoye, but Manchester United have joined Arsenal in active talks with Bayer Leverkusen on Jarrell Kwanzaa. United have contacted Kwanzaa's representatives while Leverkusen did not want to sell the defender. Arsenal and Leverkusen have a sizable valuation gap, which could open the door for Man United. Of course, the player had played in the Premiership before for Liverpool. And Arsenal, say, and William Saliba Pra, so they need a replacement. Ezri Konsa was also linked. I'll bring you that story in a short while. But Jarrell Kwanzaa, no, when he played for Liverpool, talented. He played for England at the World Cup under Thomas Tuchel, so it was at least an indication that player he could be trusted. But Jarrell Kwanzaa in the profile now, in terms of being very dominant, right? Maybe ball playing or kakra, but in terms of being very dominant in that backline, maintaining that balance and solidity, I didn't really see him in that light. And the gap between himself and William Saliba, no, kakra. I really don't think Arteta has a problem because now he's desperate and he's in need of Abrante to come and play over there. So when Ezri Konsa now, I think he would go for Jarrell Konsa because Ezri Konsa looks like a more suitable replacement for Abrante Fernandez, William Saliba. Yeah. To me, that is how I see it. And as we speak right now, Ezri Konsa wants to leave Aston Villa because this is what's happening. Talks over the fee are at the final stage actually, with an agreement expected in the region of 60 to 65 million pounds. Ezri Konsa has 2 years remaining on his Aston Villa contract and has no willingness to extend that contract. Inti Wama Villa Fone Muso Peso Fio, and I think Arsenal have money to find a way to lure the player. He comes in and he enters that team straight away. He helps them to be competitive because Arsenal are going to play in Europe. They're going to play domestic, games, Premiership, FA Cup, Carabao. There will be a need for them to be competitive and to also avoid the mistakes that they made last season. And in the absence of William Saliba, Ezri Konsa looks like the best replacement for Abrante. And I'm pretty sure, Arteta would push really hard for this deal to be completed. Because once it's completed, he's getting a squad that is going to be on top there. And if they wanted to also finish Victor Osimhen there, I'm pretty sure that nobody would doubt it if Arsenal are overwhelming favorites for the title again this particular time around. It is uncommon about Cody Gakpo. Tottenham Hotspur have opened direct contact with Liverpool as they step up their pursuit for Cody Gakpo. Spurs are holding those advanced discussions, and I'm pretty sure an agreement will be in place very soon. Look, Liverpool want to bring Ibrahim Mbaye and Bradley Barcola, all from PSG, into their setup for I think something around 150 million pounds. They could even pay more, it's possible. But this is what I'm thinking about Cody Gakpo. Cody Gakpo, maybe in that Deserbi Tottenham team, he fits in, as well as Savinho. Because Savinho is also pushing very hard to exit team Ayefreno, Man City. And his valuation is somewhere around 75, 80 million pounds. It was so crap. But Man City are also trying to cash out, get more money, and possibly go into the market. You see, maybe come back to Chelsea for Enzo Fernandez, which Chelsea. But you see, look at Cody Gakpo's profile. Right now, I don't think he's falling under the pecking order at Liverpool under Andoni Iraola. I don't think so. But Tottenham represents a fresh challenge for him, where he gets into a very competitive team and he goes in there and he proves a point. For Roberto De Zerbi, who also has a certain mentality that he wants to drill into this Tottenham Hotspur team. And to look at the inclusion of Savinho, see how explosive it can be, giving competition to Mohamed Kudus, like I said in one of my videos earlier. Then we have Cody Gakpo coming in as well, playing on that left-hand side, giving competition to players to say Destiny Udogie, who is also possibly linked away from the club. Right? But players to say James Maddison, now they'll get competition in this particular team. So I'm pretty sure, one thing that De Zerbi wants to do is that he wants to keep his team competitive. He wants to keep everybody on their toes. The competitiveness of Tottenham Hotspur has not been existent for a while. I check a crack. Into last season, so relegation, that players no be what they were very uninspiring as a form. And they push Coutinho Romero is all Atletico Madrid. And possibly Richarlison also leaving. De Zerbi he means business. The man is look. So we'll keep our eyes on Abrantia Efreno, Cody Gakpo, and then Savinho. In the next few days, there will be some latest updates on those two players and their potential move to Team Efreno, Tottenham Hotspur. Victor Osimhen. Now, Tottenham Hotspur have also joined the race. Initially, they were linked. But Arsenal became a very strong, suitor for Abrantia. And I told you that story earlier today, and I give you the tactical breakdown of how important Osimhen could be for Arsenal. But since, Tottenham Hotspur too have joined. So internal talks are being held for potential move for Abrantia. No formal bids have been submitted for the player. And Galatasaray would not really want to sell. But if they got the right price, they would want to sell the player. So that's the major obstacle right now. Galatasaray, for instance, 70, 80 million euros there. ABR, they will release the player. And for a 28-year-old, yes, he has the goals. He has the mental fortitude to handle the pressure in the Premier League. But that's Sikano. ABR, Premier League teams will want the valuation to come down a bit, right, before they splash the cash on Abrantia. But now it could be a tug of war between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. So who wins the race? Because De Zerbi would also want to push. Or must spend you in the market, or must spend it at that. They've spent huge amounts of money on players that you don't expect them to spend those monies on. Sandro Tonali, Matias, Fernandez. They've spent close to about £180 million on these two players alone. But if they had to splash the cash on Victor Osimhen to join the attack, I think De Zerbi will sanction that move. And then on the ACCC, so let's see that tug of war. The team talk in the reported sad story, Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, that third bid has been submitted for Rodri. No update has come yet. We'll wait and see how that pans out. But Ruben Amorim, 7 players are not in his plans, including Christopher Nkunku and Fikayo Tomori. The other players are Pavis Estupinian, Yusuf Fofana, Santiago Gimenez, and it's very sad. Ruben Amorim, well, I don't have much to say about Abrantia, because when he was at Manchester United, we all saw him. And Okoji AC Milan Ejuma, now people were saying, say, "What free obesa kwa gusa team no?" And the way I was shasty, I was so showing maybe I don't know the players he wants to replace these guys with. Because Fikayo Tomori is in his last 1 year of his contract. I understand, and he wants to even come back to the Premier League. I didn't have a problem with that. But Christopher Nkunku, yes, injuries are Hano or Chelsea. He didn't find his feet. He left, came to AC Milan, thinking say Obekwa Kunya playing time or the Sisiano. Nyema Nkoye and Abrantia. I watched Christopher Nkunku and how I was waiting for him to join Chelsea pan and didn't pick, guys. That would be a yummy Christopher Nkunku. Oh. So we'll see how that goes. I really wish that Christopher Nkunku would have stayed at Chelsea. Yeah. But earlier in the day, when there was still uncertainty about Enzo Fernandez's transfer, Chelsea had made fresh contact with Bournemouth and Crystal Palace from Rantia from Alex Scott and Adam Horton for their potential move in case Enzo Fernandez moved to team my friend Manchester City. But as we speak, that may not happen because Enzo Fernandez is going to stay. And because of that, I don't think Chelsea would want to go into the market and bring in Alex Scott and also Abrantia friend Adam Horton if there will be no departures. Chelsea have 42 or 41 players on the books or some ton. This is not the time for buying for Chelsea. And Makassar, Chelsea cannot buy now. They have to sell. So that is it. They have to sell. Yeah, guys. Barcelona consider sporting striker Luis Suarez as an option if their move for Julian Alvarez does not happen. And I think it's a good deal. Yeah. This makes sense. It makes sense to me. Luis Suarez, the guy has an eye for goal. Aside that, he's one of the daring profiles that Barcelona need in their setup. in a season where you want to challenge for the UEFA Champions League, I think his profile is one that Barcelona for Nyaya. He gives Hansi Flick a lot of options moving forward. At least he replaces Ferran Torres and helps them to be very clinical. If someone boy any 10 shots, I think 8 of them would enter into the net. Luis Suarez, he's a very good striker. And I don't commit the move seriously. Yeah. It's a Julian Alvarez, the team and go to. I think Luis Suarez is a very good option for team my friend FC Barcelona. Yeah. Into Liverpool so are set to submit a concrete proposal for Ibrahim Mbaye by the end of this week. We cannot end this, so I'm pretty sure it will be done any time from now. The youngster must now make a decision over his future as Liverpool push for forward and they are in. And Macanada said on a Bradley Barcola potential move, it could happen. And now finally, Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur have joined Arsenal City in showing their interest in Abrante friend Pedro Neto. Chelsea have set a £75 million price tag on the Portuguese international as interest for him grows in the Premier League. Into Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, who is ready to spend £75 million on Abrante friend Pedro Neto, pick him up from Chelsea, send him into their team, makes their squad better. I've said it. Said one of the players who cannot leave Chelsea this window, Pedro Neto. I see the player in a certain light. Chelsea probably will disagree with me, but the way he plays, you don't have so many players of his profile right now. Giovanni Quenda has come in. The guy is good. He will give some competition to Ono and Estavo. I was left, right channel. But my point is that he is one of the guys who has played the team last season. Or you play a beer, you can count on him at times to give you the pace and the speed that your attack will need. And Xabi Alonso, after taking over the job, I don't think that he wants to rely solely on Nkola Wakofa Omaba, Giovanni Quenda, Marco Palestra. They are going to be key cogs in that team. But if you have the old guards around, they can still find a way to give you the result, playing the way they played previously because they are very familiar with the system already. Giovanni Quenda bought Premier League, that no over. Palestra also bought Premier League, that no over. Estavo is coming back from injury, so he will take some time to acclimatize. Aside that, Nkola drink a crowd on the team. So you need Pedro Neto. You need the guy on the pitch. You need the guy in the team. That's my argument. I want top player. 75 is a good profit. Chelsea for being some profit. I'm top player for 53 or so from here Wolverhampton Wanderers. Turn the 75 or more. You have made money. But that's a disadvantage. You go into the market, you bring another player, but he may not be as consistent. Pedro Neto knows the terrain. You command one more season. If after the season you decide, say, he's not your fit and you want him to go, fair enough. So I really wish Chelsea can take a very good decision about Abrante and friend Pedro Neto. Guys, this has been Onside with me, Joshua. Hello to bringing us to the end of the week. Thank you so much, guys. All those who have watched my videos this week. Yamin Shramo. Thank you. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Anytime I drop a video, you're going to be one of the first people to see it. And we're going to talk football, talk tactics, talk transfers, and get ready for the season. Until I come your way again, I'll see you in the next one.